Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Anna, and today I'm here with my husband, John.
Hi, everyone. It's good to be back. Today's episode is a little different because we're going to talk about our recent trip together. We've been back for a week now, and we thought it'd be fun to share some highlights.
Yeah, we had such a great time, and we've been meaning to sit down and talk about everything we experienced. So if you're thinking about planning a couple's getaway or just want to hear some travel stories,
Planning the trip. So, let's start with the planning part. I remember we had a hard time deciding where to go. We tossed around a few ideas. Beach, mountains, or maybe a city break.
yeah, I really wanted to go somewhere relaxing but also a place we could explore a little. We ended up choosing that beautiful little coastal town, remember?
Yeah, I think it was the perfect mix of relaxation and adventure. I was leaning toward a beach destination because it felt like we both needed to unwind after such a busy few months.
Exactly. And the town had such a nice balance. There were beaches for lounging, but also hiking trails, cute little cafes, and those amazing local shops we discovered.
The arrival. So, let's talk about when we first arrived. Do you remember how we both immediately felt like the trip was going to be great as soon as we stepped out of the car?
Yes, it was that feeling of instantly being somewhere completely different. The salty ocean breeze, the sound of the waves in the distance. It was exactly what I hoped for.
Right? And we stayed in that little boutique hotel near the beach. I loved how it wasn't a huge resort, but more like a cozy, intimate place. The staff was super friendly too.
Oh, definitely. They made us feel welcome right away. And our room had that incredible ocean view, which was a bonus. I remember sitting on the balcony the first night, just listening to the waves and feeling so relaxed.
Yeah, I could get used to that. It was one of those moments where I thought, this is why we take vacations, just to pause and enjoy the simplicity of it all.
Exploring the town. So, on our first full day, we decided to explore the town. I remember waking up super early because I was excited, and we grabbed coffee from that local cafe, right?
Yeah, the one with the homemade pastries. That place was a great find. It had such a warm, welcoming vibe, and I think we went there every morning after that.
Of course we did. Their croissants were to die for. After breakfast, we spent the day wandering through the town. I loved how everything was so walkable. Quaint shops, art galleries, and that little farmer's market we stumbled upon.
Yeah, that market was awesome. We got to chat with some local artisans, and I remember we picked up a few souvenirs, like that handmade pottery mug you've been using ever since.
Yes, it's my new favorite. I think what made that day special was how relaxed everything felt. There wasn't a set itinerary, and we could just take our time.
Exactly. I think that's the best way to explore a new place. No rushing around, just enjoying the experience as it unfolds.
beach and adventure. Then on the second day we spent most of our time at the beach. The weather was perfect, sunny but not too hot.
Yeah, I remember we rented those beach chairs and just lounged for hours. We brought a couple of books, but I don't think we ended up reading much.
No, we didn't. We just kept talking and people watching. And I'll never forget how peaceful it was. It wasn't a crowded beach, so we really felt like we had space to relax.
That's true. But then we decided to switch it up in the afternoon and get a little adventurous. We rented kayaks and paddled out into the water.
Yes, that was so much fun. I was a bit nervous at first because I haven't kayaked in years, but it ended up being one of the highlights of the trip for me.
We rented kayaks and paddled out into the water. Did great. The views from the water were incredible. Paddling along the coastline, seeing the cliffs and the wildlife, it felt like we were in a different world.
I loved it. And do you remember how we just floated for a while, letting the current carry us? It was so calming. I could have stayed out there forever.
Speaking of highlights, let's talk about food. We had some amazing meals on this trip, but if I had to pick one standout, it would be that dinner we had at the seafood restaurant by the water.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about. It was on our last night, and we decided to splurge a little. The view was incredible, right on the water at sunset.
Yes, and the seafood was the freshest I've ever had. I remember we ordered oysters to start, and then I had that grilled fish, which was perfect.
And I had the lobster. It was so rich and buttery. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. The whole experience was special, though. The ambience, the service, and of course the company.
Yeah, it was one of those meals where everything just came together. We stayed there for hours, talking and watching the sunset. It was the perfect way to end the trip.
Reflections on the trip. So now that we're back home and reflecting on everything, what would you say was the best part of the trip for you?
For me, I think it was just the chance to really disconnect from our busy lives. No work, no distractions, just being present with you and enjoying the moment. The kayaking was a standout for sure, but honestly, just the simplicity of waking up together in a beautiful place every day was the best part.
I feel the same. I loved the adventure, but I think my favorite part was the slower pace. We weren't rushing to do anything or be anywhere. It was just about us, spending time together and reconnecting.
Yeah, it's easy to forget how important that is when life gets busy. I think this trip reminded me that we need to take time for ourselves more often.
Absolutely. I'm already thinking about our next getaway.
Me too. I think we should make it a tradition. One trip each year, just the two of us.
Conclusion. Well, that's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed hearing about our trip, and maybe it's inspired you to plan your own adventure with your partner.
Yeah, if there's one thing we took away from this experience, It's that sometimes you just need to take a break and focus on each other. It doesn't have to be a big, extravagant trip. Just something that lets you relax and reconnect.
Exactly. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back soon with more stories and conversations. Until then, take care and maybe start planning your next adventure.
Bye.